Alright, that should solve that problem. And now we go back. And this is the NFC West. And we're back. After a 1 week break, we are back. And we are going to bang out a bunch of episodes right here. This is my predictions for the NFC West. The Arizona Cardinals, the Seattle Seahawks, the Los Angeles Rams, and the San Francisco 49ers of 3 yards short from a touchdown. So we'll start with the Arizona Cardinals. Their additions through this preseason, I guess you could call it, and the offseason. Big thing, DeAndre Hopkins from the Houston Texans and Devondre Campbell from, I believe, the Atlanta Falcons. In the draft, they picked up a stud in Isaiah Simmons who can play across the field really anywhere. Madden has them playing at strong safety. I thought that was interesting. I don't know how Madden really, can account for a guy that would play multiple positions. He'll be all over the map. Josh Jones and 2 defensive tackles. I don't remember who those people are or why that mattered to me. Questions to be answered for the Arizona Cardinals. Is this a sophomore slump or a big step forward for Kyler Murray? If you ask me, big step forward, I think. Not in terms of wins, but in terms of production, I think he's going to have a very good year. Will lack of fans in the stands help them on the road? Great question. But then again, on the counterpart is, can that make them also struggle at home? That is 2 great questions there. I think it's either or. I don't know the Cardinals fan base too much because I don't watch a lot of Cardinals games, and I don't think I watched a single one last year. So I don't know the dynamic of the fans. If you ask me, I don't think it really makes a difference either way. Last year's record, it's supposed to say 2019-2020, but it does not. So last year they were 6-10. Okay. And then their offensive line, once again, these are Madden ratings. So this is what Madden has their offensive lineman rated as. DJ Humphries at left tackle. Solid left guard. Solid right guard. Not very good at center. And the big thing, Marcus Gilbert, I think within this last week and a half, he has opted out of the season. So they have lost their right tackle. Kyler Murray already had a not-so-decent offensive line. He will not be any better with Marcus Gilbert opting out. So we go to the Arizona Cardinals. They will start the season going to San Francisco, playing against the 49ers. If you ask me, that is a loss in my opinion. Then they will host the Washington football team in a game that they will win. They get to host the Lions again at home. Last year was an overtime tie in week 1 of the season. This year they win that game against the Lions. They go to New York across the country after already flying across the country to play the Panthers. So back-to-back weeks across the country. New York, little dysfunctional if you ask me. I think they can actually win that game. And then a third straight week on the road. They go to Dallas in a game in which I think on a Monday night they will unfortunately lose. Fireworks, though, for Kyler Murray as he gets his second primetime game. His first one being last year at home against the Los Angeles Rams on Thursday night. Then they will host the Seattle Seahawks in a game which I think they will lose. They get a bye. They host the Dolphins, and then they host the Bills. Dolphins have to fly across the country to play them. That's a win, in my opinion. Buffalo, I think they're going to win the division this year in the AFC East. I think they'll win the division, so I think that's a loss for the Arizona Cardinals. And then another primetime game for Kyler Murray. He gets to go into Seattle. Would have been fans. There might be. I highly doubt it. Going into Seattle, not as big as a tough threat. They won that game last year. Russell Wilson struggled, but I think they lose it this year. Then they go to Foxborough, and something Bill Belichick does really well is against young quarterbacks. Who knows what the Patriots will look like at this point in the year? Where will Cam Newton be? We don't know. But I still think it's a loss. I think Bill Belichick gets that done against the Arizona Cardinals. Then they will host the Los Angeles Rams in a game that I think they will. This is a game I think that could go either way. I think they win this game against the Rams, go across the country to New York, and a loss. That New York game they will lose, unfortunately. Host the Philadelphia Eagles in a game in which I think they will win. Nope, why did I even say that? I'm not even thinking right now. A loss. Again, a loss to the 49ers. And on the road, unfortunate, but it happens. 4 straight losses to end the season for the Arizona Cardinals. That makes them 2, 3, 4, 5, and 11. 1 loss more than the previous season. But it's not surprising considering how difficult that division is. That will unfortunately be a missed playoff spot for the Arizona Cardinals. So we move on to the next team, which should be the it'll be the Los Angeles Rams. Los Angeles Rams, new logo, new stadium, new look, new helmets, new Rams. No. Additions in the offseason, Austin Blythe. A good guard, Leonard Floyd. I don't remember who that is. Cam Akers, running back from a college. I don't remember. I think he's actually from Boston College. Now that I remember. Van Jefferson, Terrell Lewis, and Terrell Burgess. No idea. Questions to be answered. New stadium with no one in the stands. It'll be interesting. I don't know. I think I can't wait to see that stadium with fans in the stands. But this year will be interesting. I still think it's going to be a good thing. And they get to open it on a Sunday night against the Cowboys. Would have been an awesome way to open the season and an awesome way to open that stadium. Getting beat up the Cowboys in week 1. Offensively, Jared Goff, Cam Akers. I guess I put him in the weapons. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, and Tyler Higbee, the tight end. The loss of Todd Gurley, I think it helps them, if you ask me. Defensively, on the weapons, Michael Brockers, Aaron Donald, the best defensive lineman for sure, if not the best player in the NFL. Sam Ebukam, I don't remember who that is. John Johnson, our safety, and Jalen Ramsey, the lockdown corner. He's solid. I don't know if he's as solid as he used to be. I wouldn't throw against him anyway. Bunch of contradicting statements right there. Very well done. Offensive line, Andrew Whitworth. Probably his last, if not his second to last year in the NFL at left tackle. Bad left guard, bad center. Austin Blythe comes in to play right guard and right tackle. This was a team that had offensive line struggles last year, and this is a reason Jared Goff did not have the year he had prior, along with Todd Gurley not being good and Cooper Kupp being hurt. Last year they were 9-7. This year they will be. Let's find out. They host the Cowboys in week 1. With fans, this would have been an easy dub. Without fans, still think it's a win. 2 straight weeks on the road in very tough places to play, with or without fans. Early in the season, though, not very cold games for this Los Angeles team, who doesn't have to play in the warm weather necessarily anymore, now that they're in a stadium. But going into Philly and going into Buffalo, not very easy games to win. even without fans in the stands. Hosting the Giants, that's a win, as Danny Dimes comes into LA and plays in the new stadium. That is supposed to be the Washington football team. Man, that feels bad. Thought I switched all of those. Let's go ahead and make that switch right now. Can he spell Washington? He can. Typing with one hand while holding a mic. Not a bad skill to have. At Washington football team. Didn't mean to put entirely Washington football team, but we're with it now. That's unfortunate. Copying and pasting is not very easy. Oh boy, I did it again. As I was saying, copying and pasting is not very easy with one hand. But we are doing it on the fly. This is proof that this is real and not a simulation. Going into Washington. Back into it. That's a win. You go into San Francisco with fans. This would have been an automatic loss on a Saturday night. Or not a Saturday, Sunday night. Still a loss in my opinion. You host the Bears on a Monday night. Very similar to when the Bears came into LA last year on a Sunday night. In my opinion, this is a win. You go to Miami, in which you will win that game, flying across the country into Miami on a bye, hosting the Seahawks. This is a win in my opinion. You go into Tampa Bay. I've already predicted this game because I've already predicted the NFC South. Go back and watch that video, which is why you'll see predictions in for some of these games. The Bucks hosting the Rams would have been a great game on a Monday night. Tom Brady versus Jared Goff 2.0. The win for the Bucks. Hosting the 49ers. That is a loss in my opinion. Going into Arizona, I said they would lose this game, if I am not mistaken. Let's double check. It's been a while since I made that prediction, as in 5 minutes. Yes, they will lose that game, in my opinion. So that's 3 straight losses. You host the Patriots on a Thursday night. This is a win, in my opinion. You host the Jets. And then you go into Seattle. And I think the loss was very good at the end of the season. And hosting the Cardinals again for back-to-back seasons on the final week of the year is a win, in my opinion. So 9-7 last year. This year they will be 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 7. A repeat of last year. Notable wins: beating the Cowboys on a Sunday night and beating the Seahawks. That will give you 9 and 7. That might be enough for a playoff spot. We'll see as we go on. To the next team, the San Francisco 49ers. As I said earlier, 3 yards short for Emmanuel Sanders from a Super Bowl. Free agency pickups: Travis Benjamin, good wide receiver to add to the crew. Unfortunately, he has opted out of the season for the 49ers. Trent Williams, great left tackle from the Washington football team, will join Jimmy Garoppolo on the left-hand side, making this a very good offensive line, as they showed last year. On the draft, Javon Kinlaw, he could be the next DeForest Buckner. He's not as big, but he's going to be a threat, especially when you have to worry about Nick Bosa and Dee Ford, and Eric Armstead before you have to worry about Javon Kinlaw, who's a great defensive tackle from South Carolina. Brandon Ayuk out of Arizona State, very speedy wide receiver. When you have to worry about the run game, he's going to have some big plays this year, just like Deebo Samuel and Kendrick Bourne had last year. Colton McKivitz, another offensive tackle, so you have depth there on the offensive line. Speaking of the offensive line, Trent Williams at left tackle, one of the best left tackles in the game. Right tackle, I believe, is I cannot remember. I would know his name if I saw it. Left guard and center are good. Right guard needs work, but they have great blocking scheme under Kyle Shanahan, so I think they'll be fine. Questions to be answered. Super Bowl slump? I don't know. I don't think so. I think even that they were 3 yards short as Jimmy Garoppolo overthrew Emmanuel Sanders by 3 yards. I still think they'll be halfway decent, and I definitely think they'll make the playoffs with this team. With that ground game, they dominated the league for some time, and this defense is very good. George Kittle is unbelievable, and I feel so bad right now. He is not on the weapons list. We're going to pretend this never happened. Maybe I'll edit this out and throw George Kittle in there and pretend nothing happened. Definitely won't. My apologies, George Kittle, who got the payday as he deserved. Weapons, Jimmy Garoppolo. Is he a weapon? I don't know. He's decent. Middle of the pack, if you ask me. Raheem Mostert wanted to get paid, almost threatened to hold out. Does he deserve to get paid? No. Kyle Shanahan's blocking scheme, that offensive line, yes, he's fast, but he's fast, and when holes open up, of course you're going to have a lot of yards and do very well. Tevin Coleman, getting up there as a veteran, but he's still got some speed to him, and he plays very well at the running back position. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Kendrick Bourne, and George Kittle. My apologies, Kittle. They lost Emmanuel Sanders, the veteran, so it's 3 speedy guys at wide receiver. We'll see how that works. It won't really matter when the run game is going to be 65% of the offense. Defensively, Eric Armstead, D. Ford, Solomon Thomas, Javon Kinlaw, Nick Bosa, Quan Alexander, Fred Warner, Richard Sherman, and Jimmy Ward. That is a lot of weapons on defense. And with keeping their defensive coordinator, man, I forgot his name too. That feels bad. That dude's a beast. Big personality, and he knows how to coach a defense, that's for sure. Especially when you're given that many pass rushers and a very solid linebacker crew. Last year, 13-3. This year, they will be, let's find out, hosting the Cardinals. Win, in my opinion. Going to New York, and then to New York, back-to-back weeks. Jets and Giants, 2 wins, in my opinion. Hosting the Eagles on a Sunday night, man, what a game this would have been with fans. I could lean either way on this. This could honestly be a coin flip if you ask me. So we'll leave it a coin flip, and we'll come back to this. In the last episode, every coin flip I did, I asked Siri. So I think we'll ask Siri again on this one. I think that's a coin flip if you ask me. Hosting Dolphins, that is not a coin flip, but a win. You host the Los Angeles Rams, a win in my opinion. That could be 6 straight wins to start the season. Go to New England, that is a win in my opinion. Host Seattle, or not host Seattle, go to Seattle. Man, that'll be a good game. I think that's a loss in my opinion. Flip it. That's a coin flip. Host the Packers on a Thursday night. Packers struggled last time. The past 2 times they went to San Francisco. There's not as many fans, as in there may be no fans in the stands. So I think Aaron Rodgers gets that game done. They win that game. Going into New Orleans, no fans this time. So it's not as much pressure, but the Saints are going to be on a revenge tour. I had them at 11-5 when I predicted it. I'm pretty sure I predicted this as a win for the New Orleans Saints. I did. That's why there's already a red there. You go to LA. It's a loss in my opinion. Is that what I said earlier? Man, I wish I had just coded something. No, that is a win in my opinion, I said. San Francisco 49ers beat the Rams in the new stadium. Hosting the Bills on a Monday night. Josh Allen, man, this would have been a tough game for him with fans in the stands. Still will be against that pass rush. That's a loss in my opinion. Bills don't have enough offensively when you go up against that level of skill on defense. The Washington football team, yikes for them. Oh, I messed those 2 up. Quick flip on that. There we go. Going into Jerry's World on a Sunday night. Limited capacity. Jerry Jones said he will plan on getting fans in the stands. We'll see how that works. So I think that's a coin flip, in my opinion. Yes, big controversy. Cowboys. Oh, they're not that good. Who knows? I think that's a coin flip, in my opinion, though. You host the Cardinal, or no, you go to Arizona. You win that game, and you host the Seahawks to end the year. And a game that I think is a win. Man, that is a lot of wins and 3 coin flips. So this could be an 11-5. Or, let's go ahead and make this game a coin flip. Russell Wilson pulled it off last year. He might be able to pull it off again this year. So that could be as bad as 10-6 or as good as 14-2. So let's see what Siri says on this. Coin flips. Heads is a win. Tails is a loss. Siri, flip a coin. I don't know if everyone got that. That said heads. I'll turn the volume on this chick. So they win hosting the Eagles. Siri, flip a coin. I still don't know if you got that either. She's not very loud today. Come on now. Speak up. That is a win as well against the Seahawks. And now going into Dallas. Siri, flip a coin. Siri, flip a coin. She says tails. Siri, flip a coin. 2 losses there. Okay. Siri has spoken. She says they will win these 2 coin flips. That is a lot of wins to start the season, but I wouldn't be surprised with this team. And then 2 losses here at the end going to the playoffs. That will get them at 12-4. 1 loss more than they had last year. Is that enough to win the division? We'll see. I don't know where I will put Seattle. I bet that'll be enough to win the division. In fact, I'm banking on it, saying that is a division winner in my opinion. Is that a first round bye? No. I think there is a team out here. They're there with the Buccaneers. Now that I speak of it, who won that game? Who won that? Who did I say won that game? 49ers and the Buccaneers. I said this was a coin flip. They didn't play the Buccaneers. Never mind. So that'll be based on the division record, which I have predicted both teams. Their division record, 1-1, 2-1, 3-1. Okay, so they 7-1 in their division. Buccaneers I predicted as 7-1 in their division. How about that? That's crazy. So this, how do you determine that if they're both the same record in the division? I don't know. We'll have to look up that rule. How do you determine when they're both the same record in the division? NFL tie-breaking procedures. Let's look at it live. Here we are. Division champ with the best record. They have the same record. To break a tie within a division, to break a tie. apply wild card takeovers. If tied clubs are from different divisions, apply the following steps. Head-to-head, if applicable, nope. Best one-loss tied percentage and games played within the conference. Okay, so who has the best record in the NFC will determine that. Get out of the way. Gotta love when you stop the share. That's exactly what you wanted. That's gonna make editing so much easier. Okay, that is 12-4 and 12-4. So who had the best record in the NFC? That's a lot of under strength. The San Francisco 49ers or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? That is 2 losses, 4 losses in the NFC. If the Buccaneers had all 4 in the NFC, they don't. They have 2 losses in the NFC, which means the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get the first round bye based on that factor alone. How about that? Learning stuff on the fly here. That moves the Buccaneers into a first round bye. Because I'm looking at the other, I don't think I'm going to predict the Packers to win 12 games. I'm not going to predict the Seahawks to win 12 games. So the Buccaneers will get their first round bye over the 49ers based off the better NFC record. How about that? That is go ahead and bold that boy. And put a nice asterisk on it. Not saying that it doesn't count, but like just for notification purposes. The Rams, will that be enough to make the playoffs? We'll see in a future episode. Final team now. The Seattle Seahawks are the final team. Seattle. In the free agency, Philip Dorsett, Quentin Dunbar, BJ Finney, no idea, Greg Olsen, and Jamal Adams off the big trade. They better hope that works. That is for sure. In the draft, Jordan Brooks, Darrell Taylor, Damian Lewis. Okay, not sure. Offensively, weapon-wise, Russell Wilson, Chris Carson, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Philip Dorsett, Greg Olsen, and just recently, Josh Gordon has been re-signed. He will get to play another year. I'm very happy about that. Offensively, that's not bad, if you ask me. Offensive line, though, is where they have a problem. Dwayne Brown at left tackle, good. Everywhere else, it's terrible. Defensive line is just as bad. Their only good-ish player on the defensive line is Jerron Reed after losing Clowney to the Tennessee Titans just earlier this week. Bobby Wagner, best middle linebacker in the league. KJ Wright. Shaquille Griffin, the really solid corner. Quandre Diggs, good safety. And Jamal Adams after trading Bradley McDougall and a couple picks for Jamal Adams. He better work here in Seattle. Pete Carroll might be a good last ride. Russell Wilson's there for the long run. But Pete Carroll going all in. This better work. With that offensive line, defensive line, I just don't know. When I predicted the Falcons earlier, 11-5 last year. When I predicted the Falcons earlier, I said that the Falcons would lose to the Seattle Seahawks in Week 1 in Atlanta. So they start off with a win there. Then they will host the Patriots on a Sunday night. A win, in my opinion. You host the Dallas Cowboys. A win, in my opinion. 3-0 to start the season. Seattle's going to make a big run. Everyone's going to say that. They win that game. I think that's a coin flip, in my opinion. Without fans, that's a coin flip. Kirk Cousins on a Sunday night. Who knows? With that roster and that defensive line, adding the dude from Jacksonville to the Vikings, that is going to be trouble for Russell Wilson without fans. So that's a coin flip, in my opinion. You go into Arizona. I believe I said that was a win for them. If you're watching this, you're probably screaming at the screen. Yeah, he said that. You said that was a win, bud. I did. Both games were wins for them. Okay. My apologies. Seattle Seahawks win, hosting the 49ers. Didn't we coin flip that game and said they would lose that game, which means they won the final games in the season. Going into Buffalo, going into Los Angeles. What did I say on the Los Angeles game? Los Angeles game, hosting the Seahawks. I said that was a win for the Los Angeles Rams. So that is 2 straight losses, in my opinion. That pass rush and that defense of the Bills, 3 straight losses. Correction. That's going to be a problem for the Seattle Seahawks. They host the Cardinals in a game they will win. Going into Philly, that's a loss, in my opinion. Philly's going to be really good this year. They will challenge for that spot. Now that I think of it, they also could be at the 12-4 division winner. And first round bye. We'll see when I predict them next. The Giants hosting New York. Danny Dimes. Win. Hosting the Jets. Back-to-back weeks where New York comes to Seattle. Win. Hosting the Rams. And going to Washington football team. Both wins, in my opinion. And now I'm looking at this, and I see a lot of wins. That's challenging for a division spot. I don't know if I agree with this. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they no, Russell Wilson's going to win that game. That's 11-4 right now. So this is for a chance at winning the first round bye as well. It's only 1, 2, that's 3 losses though against the NFC, which means that the Buccaneers would keep the first round bye, but the Seattle Seahawks would also be a division winner. So let's see what Siri says against the Vikings. Siri, flip a coin. She says tails, which means the Seattle Seahawks will finish 11-5 this year. Same as last year. Just missing out on a first round bye. Unfortunately for them. So that puts them at 11-5, which is a wild card spot. And puts them in the playoffs. We'll see if the Rams can sneak in after I predict the NFC East and NFC North. Looking at it, Packers and Vikings, I think, are playoff teams. And the Eagles are also a playoff team. So that gives me 2, 4, 6. It'll be up between the Cowboys and the Rams. We'll see in the next episode. Thank you for watching. This is the NFC West division. To run through it again, Seahawks 11-5. They make the wildcard spot. 49ers 12-4. Just missed out on the first round bye due to the fact that the Buccaneers, I predicted, would have a better NFC record. Rams 9-7. We'll see if they make the playoffs after I predict the NFC East. And the Arizona Cardinals 5-11. 1 loss more than last year. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.